Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mortuary. I am the Mortician, and today I have something a little bit different, actually. I wanted to do a recent pickups video, but I only had like 4 albums to talk about, so I wanted to do something called the Mortuary's double feature, in which I'll pick, say, 4 movies and have maybe 4 albums to talk about, and we'll get 2 out of the way at the same time. First, I have Cauldron's Tomorrow's Lost. Yeah, I did pick this up for $2. See, Cauldron is like, it's hard to describe them, specifically because of the vocalist. Now, everything they play is pretty thrashy, even though this cover, in my opinion, screams death metal. This is kind of a thrashy band. And the reason I'm not entirely comfortable calling it a thrash metal band is simply because the vocalist has this glam metal thing going on. Everything is solid, like the guitars, the drums, the bass. That's all done really well. But you run into this problem of the vocalist coming in and pretty much destroying it all. It's absolutely terrible what the vocalist does. I think these guys could be pretty kick-ass if they just got another vocalist and have some cover art that isn't deceiving, because like I thought this was going to be tech death or something, but this is not. An okay album. Just find a new singer, guys. Trust me. If you find a new singer, this would have been awesome. Zujur's Anti-Live, or no, it's not. It's Legion Helvet, which is I don't know. If you don't know who Zujur is like a straight up black metal band, through and through. There's no melody here. There's no anything, pretty much. The reason I say that is because like everything on this album has been done better on Desert Northern Hell. I really felt like this lacks the creativity that Zujur once had. Like, for example, the riffs just last way too long. They're not thrilling, they're not exciting, and they barely ever changed it up during the song. Whereas with Desert Northern Hell, it was super dynamic. They would go from like heavy black metal to like having some groove influence and just really taking time to not just build an atmosphere, but really make you move your head when they decide to like slow it down a little bit and just give you that fucking raw, groovy aggression. There's none of that in this. It just seems like another band who lost themselves and just felt like they had to make another record. Would I recommend this? I hate to do this because I love this band. I like everything they've done before this, but I can't recommend this. Incantation, The Infernal Storm. You guys have probably seen me wear this shirt a bunch. It's my favorite shirt, actually. It's one of my favorite band t-shirts. And yeah, I haven't had the album. I could never find the fucking album. I've listened to this album, well, not the whole album, but I've heard songs off this album, which made me buy the shirt. But I just could not find it. If you don't know who Incantation is like a death metal band from, I think, Pennsylvania. And they're not just a regular death metal band, they're like a doom death kind of thing. But a little bit more aggressive than what you might think from a doom death band. For example, the first track, Anoint the Chosen, it just fucking blasts right out of the gate. It's just, double bass and tremolo picking. It's fucking aggressive. But through the rest of the song, it slows down and just builds up this fucking maddening aggression. They do it well. The vocalist, yeah, he's actually pretty good. The only thing on this album that I would change is the way the vocalist flows through lyrics. It just seems a little bit unnatural, and honestly, going from song to song, it's like his vocals, while everything else is changing, his vocals are just like, I want to say they're staggered. It's like, it's very weird the way he delivers his lines, but good nonetheless. Definitely a great album. Pick this one up. This is Horrendous Eucydices. Eucydices. I'm gonna look like an idiot, but here, I can show you right here. I don't know what that means, but if you don't know who Horrendous are, these guys are a death metal group. I don't know where they're from, but this is kind of some of the most unique black metal I've listened to. I should say death metal. The guitars really set this band apart from like every other band, especially their fucking melodies and their guitar solos. Just kill it. Just fucking murder it. The vocalists do an amazing job. There's actually two. I can't tell the difference between them, but there's like an obituary. I would say actually Martin Van Drunen kind of vocal style going on, where it's not like most vocalists. It's like really coming out and just like tortured, agonizing screams from like the bottom of his soul. And it works so well with these amazing riffs and these melodies. It just does it so well. And not to mention, like, music aside, this is probably the most badass cover of an album I've ever seen. Like, I would love to hang this on my wall. It's absolutely brilliant. I don't know who the artist is, but great job, dude. You did amazing. I would definitely recommend this. Like, there's not even a hint of hesitation. You should, if you're into death metal, you have to have this album. Sorry. This one isn't anything too special, but I'll show you that nonetheless, because it is, a blue vinyl. Which this is the only blue vinyl I think I have, if I'm not mistaken. Dark Angel sort of has a blue vinyl, but it's actually like blue and like black and whatnot. It's super sick. Now we'll get into movies. I'm going to spend a little bit less time on here because I'm not a movie critic guy, but I want to share my experiences with you. The first one we have here is Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained. I have to say, when I actually bought this, I was a bit skeptical whether or not I would like it. Before this, I've seen a bunch of his movies. I saw Pulp Fiction, I saw Reservoir Dogs and whatnot. And I don't know, it just felt like he couldn't keep delivering for whatever reason. But he really didn't let me down with this. This was an awesome movie. If you don't know about this movie, it's basically about this guy, Django, who was a slave. And there's this dentist who rescues him from being enslaved, and they go out and start bounty hunting together. It's a fucking sick movie. It's got some people say it's the bloodiest Western shootout that ever happened. I can attest to that. There's buckets of blood in this fucking movie. It's done well, it's written well, and Jamie Foxx, I wasn't that he was mainly the reason I didn't think this was going to go so well, but he actually did an awesome job. The next movie we have here is a Bruce Lee double feature. I actually picked this up for $1, and I got The Big Boss and Fist of Fury. I've only seen Big Boss off this because it was apparently the better of the two. My friend would know better, but I'll probably watch Fist of Fury sometime in the future and come back to it because it's a double feature. If you don't know what the Big Boss is, this is one of Bruce Lee's movies, or I think it might be the only one, where Bruce Lee swears off fighting. He's a pacifist. He made a promise to someone, and he wears this pendant, and every time there could be an physical altercation, he kind of like grabs the pendant and reminds himself of his pacifism. But eventually moving, I don't know where he moved from or to. A lot of shit starts going awry. Like, people are going missing. As soon as he finds a job, people are going missing and whatnot. It's actually a really, really good movie. Well, everyone's seen these, so I'll just tell you what I thought of each of them. Everyone's seen The Godfather, and if you haven't, you have to see them. Fuck 3, though. So we got 3 out of the way. The Godfather 1 is amazing. It's definitely a spectacle. You have to watch, like, actually physically watch it going on, because it's just a sight to see. The cinematography is awesome, blah, 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 blah. You've heard it all before, probably. And The Godfather 2 is even better than that. In my opinion, I loved The Godfather 2 a lot. I liked learning about Vito Corleone's, transition from Sicily to America. Awesome stuff. Definitely recommend it. And the third one's a pile of steaming trash that no one should watch. The ending is meaningless. Just fucking stay away from it. Although the third one is trash, though, I will say the acting's okay. If I had to give it one thing, I don't necessarily hate the acting. It's more the story that completely drops everything. It makes no fucking sense. They just ruined that fucking writing process. Next, we have Deadpool. If you don't know about the character Deadpool, he was basically a regular guy, I guess you could say, a mercenary. Got cancer or whatever, and they experimented on him, and it turns him into a superhero who can regenerate and whatnot. You know, a lot of people completely fell in love with this movie. You'd think this movie would actually be right up my alley, because it's vulgar, it's violent, and it's fucking Deadpool. But actually, I had a hard time liking this, and there's a couple of reasons. The swearing was so fucking childish. It's like Deadpool just learned how to swear. That's what it comes off to me. Like, you know, when you're in elementary school and you're just figuring out how to say fucking shit like that, and you're like gluing these things together haphazardly and not making any sense, you know, kind of like my channel. It just comes off as like really forced when he does it. I can't help it. I just think it's really forced. And one of the things that really aggravated me was the fight between that woman the villain has and Colossus. I totally could not like even get that. Like I didn't understand it at all. Mainly because of who Colossus is. I just found myself sitting in my fucking recliner going, it's fucking Colossus. So there's some flubs here and there. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. But I don't think it was a movie that lived up to the hype, in my opinion. I know I'm probably going to get like shitty comments from, you know, Deadpool fans or whatever. But I just got to be honest with you. I thought I was going to love this movie. I wanted to love this movie. I didn't come into it, you know, I didn't come into it with a bad mindset. I wanted to like it, but I just didn't like it. Maybe Deadpool is not the character for me, and that's a fair assessment, but it was okay. Like I say, I shouldn't say I didn't like it. I liked it, but just not as much as everyone else liked it. I literally just finished watching this, and that is Mad Max Fury Road. I'm going to put this down. See, I kind of wanted to see that movie. I wanted to see Mad Max for quite a while since it came out, but I just never got to see it in the theaters. I found Mad Max for like $7.50 or something, like ridiculously cheap. It was actually probably less than that. I think I paid $5 for that movie. So it was ridiculously cheap, and I was like, finally, I can finally see Mad Max Fury Road. So I bought it, put it in the DVD, you know, my PS3. It was pretty fucking good. My criticism of it is that the start is just a teensy bit too slow, in my opinion. It just lags on a little bit too long, which isn't too bad. It doesn't take away from the movie for the most part, because like the whole movie's one big fucking explosion basically. But the first part lingers a little bit. And there's something else I wanted to say. I can't remember what the fuck I was going to say. But other than that, it was actually pretty good. Once again, this was a movie with good cinematography and whatnot. Oh, and I think this movie would have been, like, it was pretty good watching on my PS3, but I think this movie would have fucking killed it in the theaters. I really think this is a movie that would have been better appreciated in a theater, or maybe on a wall with a projector. I think that would have worked out a little bit better. Because I'm watching it on TV. It was still impressive, but once again, it was a case of like not being as impressive, or, you know, I couldn't take it in the way I think I needed to take it in. I felt like if I were to, it's something similar. If I were to watch Guardians of the Galaxy or something on my TV, it probably wouldn't be as good. And that's how I feel about this. Although, to this movie's credit, I still loved it. Awesome movie. The actors did a good job. The villain's fucking badass. And I recall people telling me about the guitar player on the back of the villain's car. And I don't know, someone described it as like sick riffs. I can't remember who it was, but like I didn't like it, his guitar playing. I just felt like it was very weird. Not to mention, I thought it was going to be a bigger part of the movie. Like, I thought he was going to be playing, you know, maybe some memorable riffs from other songs or something. But nope. Would I recommend Mad Max? Hell yeah. What are you guys listening to? What are you guys watching? Please tell me down in the comments. Thank you guys. Mortician. Peace out.